As you can probably tell by the title and the thumbnail of this video, my fiance and I decided to apply for 4 different credit cards all in one day just a few weeks ago. So these next few applications were, yes, some cards that I could potentially work into this setup in 2026 and even beyond, but really for the most part, we were just looking at the highest sign-up bonuses that we could possibly get in the points currencies that we value most, being Hyatt rewards, Amex membership rewards points, and Chase Ultimate rewards points. While we are limited in terms of flexibility and the fact that we're not really following the standard recommendation of applying for one credit card every 3 months or so, we did take a sort of thoughtful and systematic approach to these different applications that I definitely wanted to cover in this video to hopefully help a few of you out there if you do have, say, higher than average spend and are looking to apply for multiple cards all in a short amount of time. The plan that I had originally put in place when I built my roadmap for 2025 was to, around this time, have myself apply for the American Express Business Gold Card and the World of Hyatt Personal Card. And for my fiance, I was planning on having her apply for the Chase Ink Cash Card as well as the Chase Sapphire Preferred using referral links from the cards that I currently have under my name. Knowing my own struggles getting approved for the Chase Ink Preferred card, having to call Chase reconsideration 4 different times before I was finally approved, and in reference to the Doctor of Credit article that came out just a few months ago, Chase has definitely been tightening up approvals on their Chase Ink cards. So I really did not want her to have to deal with this whole headache and have her go through the same process that I did. So I decided to cancel that Chase Ink Cash application, at least on the roadmap for her. For the cards that I was looking to apply for with the World of Hyatt Personal Card, when I did a breakdown in one of my recent videos between the business and the personal card, I very quickly realized that whether it be the free night award that comes with the personal card, we are definitely not Hyatt loyalists, so I definitely really wouldn't have a plan in place to use that free night award every single year to offset that annual fee. And on top of that, the sign-up bonus on that personal card is 30,000 points after an initial 3,000 in spend in the first 3 months. Then the other 30,000 points doesn't actually come in the form of a sign-up bonus. Essentially, you have to spend an additional 15,000 on that card over the next 6 months to be able to get that additional 30,000 points. So while I did want to add one of those Hyatt cards because we are looking to stay at a Mr. and Mrs. Smith property, which is bookable through Hyatt's network, I came to the conclusion that neither of those cards were a must-have for me by any means, but knowing that we were looking to book a Mr. and Mrs. Smith property for our honeymoon, I definitely wanted to start racking up some more Chase UR and Hyatt points. With the American Express Business Gold Card, for whatever reason, when I went to apply, I could not find any form of an elevated sign-up bonus, and I tried everything I possibly could. I was trying incognito windows, different web browsers, different electronic devices, and I was not targeted for anything above a 100,000 membership reward point offer. I even reached out to a few people through Discord, and shout out to my man Sunny Money, by the way. If you haven't checked out his channel, he's got a great up-and-coming channel on credit cards, so definitely make sure you go subscribe to him. And for whatever reason, even using his referral links, again, on every single browser that I tried, incognito windows and everything, I just simply was not going to get an elevated offer on that business gold card. So apologies again to my man Sunny Money. I'll definitely make it up to you in the future, and I'll keep trying those referral links to get you those bonus points. And as you can tell, just by my decision behind moving away from that Hyatt personal card and not getting that elevated sign-up bonus, we were really just focused on earning the most amount of points that we possibly could. But at the same time, I was definitely already thinking about how these cards could potentially stay in our wallet past just year 1 after hitting that sign-up bonus, and also how I was planning on managing after these different applications are more than $3,000 in annual fees on all the cards that we've added over just the last 6 months. The key behind applying for this many cards all in one day, as you can probably tell by now, is having a player 2 that is willing to apply for cards. Having another person that is willing to apply not only helps you keep your own Chase 524 status down, you also can reduce the number of hard inquiries between the two of you on your credit report, and you're earning those referral points when referring each other to these different credit cards. So because I already have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, I definitely wanted to keep that in the plans for my fiance's applications, able to refer her to earn myself an additional 10,000 UR points. And with the Chase Ink Cash Card, again, I just did not want her to have to deal with the headache that I did getting approved for multiple ink cards here in 2025. It's definitely gotten a lot tougher. So I shifted her instead to apply for the American Express Business Platinum card. In terms of my applications, I landed on that World of Hyatt business card because I think even with the different statement credits and things that come with that card, I think I can get more use out of those as opposed to that free night award that comes on the personal card. The second card that I was planning on applying for was the American Express Blue Business Plus. Not for its sign-up bonus. It's a measly 15,000 membership rewards points after 3,000 in spend in the first 3 months, I believe it is. The 2 main reasons that I really wanted that card were, number 1, it's elevated earning over things like the Chase Freedom Unlimited of earning 2x back on all of your spending, and it is also offering a 0% APR offer for the first 12 months, which we plan on leverage in a couple of different ways, which I'll get into. So as you can tell, 3 of these 4 applications that we were planning on were business cards. And with business cards, a common misconception is that you need a retail store or an LLC or something like that, but you can actually apply as a sole proprietor using your social security number if you have any form of a side hustle that is currently or could in the future be generating revenue. A common question around business cards is, can you put personal spend on these cards? And according to the terms from lenders like Chase and Amex, no, it is technically a violation of those terms in putting any personal expense on these cards. But as you'd imagine, it's very difficult for lenders to know exactly what you are spending on and if it is for personal or business reasons. However, if they are able to track that down, you could run the risk of either getting your account shut down or just being locked out of future applications or something like that. So it's really up to you at the end of the day with how much risk that you're willing to take in terms of putting personal spend on business credit cards. Another thing to consider with business credit cards is the fact that they aren't actually on your personal credit report. Yes, you may get a hard inquiry from certain lenders. However, because they are not actually on that credit report, you do actually have the flexibility to cancel past just year 1 if you are targeting a card just for the sign-up bonus. And specific to the Chase business cards, you do actually have to be under Chase 524 in order to get approved, but those cards don't actually count towards your Chase 524 status. So if I do apply and get approved for that World of Hyatt card, I will still be at 424 with an opening on the Chase side to apply for at least one more Chase personal card in the next several months. The last and most important thing that we took into consideration when determining which order we wanted to apply for these cards in is the fact that with American Express, if you're an existing card holder, they don't actually do a hard inquiry if you do apply for additional cards for the most part. Since my fiance and I are both Amex card holders right now, we knew that we would not get a hard inquiry for the 2 new cards that we were both looking to apply for, and thus we wanted to apply for those cards first to avoid having a hard inquiry when we went to apply for the Chase cards. If you are lucky enough, like I am, to actually have a player or 2 that may not be willing to apply for cards as frequently as I am, but is starting to get more and more on board with this whole credit card obsession, I did want to share a few of the ways that we plan on pooling or combining our points between Chase and American Express. With Chase, all we had to do was for me to call the number on the back of my Chase Sapphire Preferred and give them the account information for my fiance, letting them know that we lived in the same household and to be able to link our accounts. Immediately after, my fiance made literally the exact same phone call to Chase, letting them know that we lived in the same household, being able to transfer the points between the 2 of us and combine them into one pool. So now, whether I'm the one logging into Chase, I can actually send points to my fiance's account and vice versa because we are on one household account. And with American Express, because she did apply for the Amex Gold card back in, I believe it was October of 2024, she added me as an authorized user right away. So basically we were just spending all of our dining and grocery purchases on one account. And because I am that authorized user, and I believe the threshold is to be an authorized user for about 90 days or so. And so now, given that that time has passed, when my fiance goes into her Amex account, when she goes to her benefits tab and goes to transfer points, she can actually transfer from her Amex Gold account directly to any of the transfer partners that are listed under my name as well. So while you can't technically pool your points the way that you can with Chase when it comes to American Express, there is a roundabout way to actually be able to transfer out 2 different transfer partners under your player 2's name. So with all that information and those strategies in mind, the first card application that we made that day was to have my fiance apply for the American Express Business Platinum card. She was eligible for the massive sign-up bonus of 250,000 membership rewards points after 20,000 in spend in 3 months. And because under her Amex Gold page within her Amex account, she is able to transfer to my transfer partners, once we hit the sign-up bonus, she will be transferring those points to my Marriott account because I am actually a Platinum Elite member holding the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant card. So I'll be the one making the booking for our honeymoon. Because that Business Platinum application did not result in a hard pull as expected, I immediately had her go apply for the Chase Sapphire Preferred using my referral link to get myself an additional 10,000 points, and she was only eligible for the base level offer of 60,000 Ultimate Rewards points after I believe it's 4,000 in spend in the first 3 months. However, just a few days after having her apply, there was news that broke that Chase would be offering an elevated sign-up bonus of 100,000 Ultimate Rewards points after 5,000 in spend in 3 months. So while it is unlucky in a sense, the timing of this application, from some information that I've gathered so far, you could potentially be eligible to get that elevated sign-up bonus matched on your account if you do end up calling or secure messaging Chase. So I definitely look forward to keeping you guys updated and exactly how we are able to get that match if it does end up happening. My fiance got an instant approval for both of those applications, which was great. So next it was my turn. Similar to my fiance, I wanted to apply for that Blue Business Plus card first in order to avoid that hard inquiry before going to apply for another Chase card. And with that card, like I said, the sign-up bonus, at least the only one that I was eligible for, is the base level 15,000 100,000 membership rewards points. Knowing all the credit cards that I've applied for in just the last 6 months or so, I know I'm running the risk of being put in the dreaded Amex pop-up jail, so I really wanted to get this BBP application done and over with because it is one of those cards that I could see just staying in our wallet for years and years. Having a catch-all credit card that earns 2x membership rewards points, which we value very highly, in combination with that Amex Gold card that my fiance applied for, having those two cards at the core of our setup will always give us a consistent way to earn membership rewards points for years and years. Another added benefit of applying for the Blue Business Plus that I was looking at and wanted to put into my own strategy is the fact that it is offering 0% APR for the first 12 months. Going back to what I was talking about with business credit cards, because it doesn't actually go on your personal credit report, you can actually carry a statement balance without it affecting your credit utilization. And because of that part of the sign-up bonus with that 0% APR offer, I wouldn't actually be incurring any interest from Amex. So over the next 12 months, and I'll do a deeper dive on this, and I'll definitely share exactly how much value I get out of this strategy. Essentially, all I'm going to do over these next few months is try and get as close as I can to the credit limit that comes with the card and spending as much as I possibly could and actually carrying a statement balance. And then instead of actually paying off the credit card balance in full every single month like I normally do with all of my other cards, I'll essentially just take that money and put it into a high yield savings account, earning myself interest instead of paying interest back to the banks. I plan on just making the minimum payment every single month so my account stays in good standing with Amex. And outside of that, I just really look forward to sharing in the future all the value that I can get out of this strategy and how much interest I'm actually able to get back depending on my credit limit with that card. With that Blue Business Plus application, I did go in and was approved right away. So knowing that I had added that card, I immediately went over to Chase's site to apply for that World of Hyatt business card. For all the reasons that I cover in that video where I do break down the difference between the personal and the business card, the fact that it has a more straightforward sign-up bonus, the fact that it is a business card, so it will actually keep me below Chase 524, did result in me going to apply for that card as well. As I had expected, I was rejected right away for my application, saying that Chase would reach out to me in 7 to 10 days or so with some additional information on why it was actually declined. And even after calling Recon a few times now, I may give it 1 or 2 more tries, I have not had any luck with flipping that into an approval. However, I do like to remain hopeful, and assuming that everything goes exactly to plan, if we are able to get that elevated sign-up bonus on the Sapphire Preferred matched, and I am able to get approved for that World of Hyatt business credit card, between these 4 cards, we should earn between the sign-up bonuses and our spending that we're planning on putting on these just over 500,000 points total. Just a few days after submitting all these applications, we were finishing up the minimum spend required on my Inc. Preferred card and her Inc. Unlimited, hitting both of those sign-up bonuses, giving us an additional roughly 191,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. At the end of 2024, I broke down our exact point earnings on each individual card that we had added up to that point, whether it be the sign-up bonus or just our everyday spending. With all those cards that we added in just our first 4 months in the credit card game, we earned just over 800,000 points and miles. So now adding in these additional points that we're earning here in just the first few months of 2025, we should be at or just above the estimated 1.7 million points that we'll really need to make our dream honeymoon happen, all on points and miles and maybe just a few $100s in taxes and fees. We were able to do this in just our first 7 to 8 months within the credit card game, and that's really why I started this channel, is just to document my own journey using our elevated spend, whether it be from our different side hustles or the wedding expenses that we've been paying off, and how we could leverage that spend using credit cards to take this honeymoon all for free. Let me be very clear, I do not recommend by any means our own strategy or how frequently we're applying for credit cards, and hopefully, whether it's some of the things that we may be doing well or some of the mistakes that we're making along the way, hopefully you can learn from those and implement some of the things that we're doing into your own strategy specific to your situation, especially if you're someone who has elevated average monthly spend, or for whatever reason, whether you are getting married or just got engaged, your spending seemingly doubles or triples overnight. If there's one thing that you should take away from this video, it's the way that I considered all the different application rules and all the different nuances when it comes to applying for cards, like Amex doing the soft pull and Chase business cards having to be below 524, and little things like that that you can actually use if you find yourself wanting to apply for multiple credit cards in such a short amount of time. And as you can tell, it is very valuable and at the same time expensive to have a player too. But if you don't already have one, go out and get one. Definitely one that is willing to apply for at least some credit cards. If you want to see a video where I break down really the only 3 credit cards in my opinion that any couple may need here in 2025, make sure you check out this video next. Or if you're interested in seeing how we are using some of the cards that we've added so far in our everyday spending as a couple, make sure you check out this video instead. Thank you as always so much for watching and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next one.